So, should you buy a used Skoda? The answer is certainly yes. Why is this so? You'll see in this video. This is not a classic review like many others, there are a ton of those already on the internet, but rather a truthful and honest testimony based on experience and a longer period of driving. What you'll see with this Fabia also goes for the Octavia, Superb and other models. Also, these traits apply to all the modern generations of Skoda, all up to the present day. So even if you're thinking about buying a brand new Skoda, this video might help in deciding. Stay tuned. despairrepair.com. Be sure to visit us at our website despairrepair.com, where you can find more useful car and driving tips. Durability is one of the most recognizable characteristics of a Skoda, especially the generations of this Skoda Fabia. Whatever engine you choose, diesel, petrol, 3 or 4 cylinders, they all go well above 400,000 kilometers or about 250,000 miles, provided that they are maintained properly. The car body and underbody is also an example of how things should be done. In the majority of cases, it's rust-free even after 2 decades if the car hasn't been in any accident. The vast majority of other components, like the undercarriage, electrics, electronics and else, are also very long-lasting and well-built. Durability leads logically to low maintenance costs. When talking about maintenance, know that most Skoda models are very affordable to maintain. Exceptions are maybe newer models, but even they are, if I've concluded properly, well in the boundaries of normal prices compared to other cars. The Fabia we're showing is a good example for that class and year. Compared to other cars of the same year, the costs are either the same or lower. Seldom does any part cost above average. Oil changes, various filters, disc pads, brake shoes, spark plugs, glow plugs, and else are very affordable even if you buy top-notch quality parts. Also, most Skoda models are, for the majority of repairs, pretty mechanic friendly, adding to lower cost of maintenance. The interior of the Fabia, as is the case with most Skoda models from that period, is to some extent dull looking, but the plastic and materials used are very resilient to everyday usage. For instance, you can barely recognize a 100,000 kilometer Skoda from a 300,000 kilometer Skoda, provided it's cleaned and maintained properly. The dash, parts of the plastic trimming, covers, the fabric for seats, the carpets and else are of very good quality. So don't expect any feast for the eyes when it comes to the interior, but expect that your Skoda will look very well even after long usage. Regarding the looks, they have been significantly improved in newer models, especially in the recent ones. Practicality is where Skoda absolutely shines. Once you get to know the car or even work around it, you'll see that a lot of things have been thought out wisely. From the trivial yet very useful things like the small cooling compartment under the steering wheel, cooling of the glove compartment and holders for drinks in it, the ways the rear seats fold, a 12-volt connection in the boot, the small hook for the cover in the trunk, and many more. If you like to work around cars, although the newer models may be less user-friendly, you'll find that a lot of things can be done in a DIY manner and, if nothing else, can be properly reached. Yes, some of these things are not a revelation and nothing new, although lots of these were invented by Skoda, but it puts a smile on your face every time you use them for sure. Regarding space and how Skoda does things, the Fabia is a great example. Even a smaller station wagon like this can hold 4 grown-up people, a serious amount of luggage, and yet offer decent comfort. Not to mention the Octavia, for instance, or the large Superb, which are at top of their own respected classes. In almost all Skodas, you won't lack passenger space, and there will be some serious boot space. Also, a very good thing worth mentioning is the ease of finding a good driving position combined with the decent all-round visibility. Skodas are famous for their low fuel consumption, especially diesel engines, even the high-tech modern ones, consume about 5 to 6 liters on average for every 100 kilometers. For instance, this Skoda Fabia has a 1.4 liter 16-valve 100 brake horsepower engine, and I get about 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers on average, which is about 1.7 gallons for every 62 miles. Essentially, whatever model you buy, it will be in line or, in most cases, under the average of its class. For the last reason, you should buy a used Skoda, and that is low price depreciation. At least in Europe, these cars hold their value abnormally well. Even older models like this Fabia with the less popular engine like this one still holds a very good price, at least in my country. Also, selling it, which is also a major factor, isn't a problem at all, especially with the vastly more popular diesels, at least for the time being. When you own a Skoda, you can see it as owning a piece of real estate to some extent. This is how rock solid they hold their value, respective of the market they're sold in. Of course, there are a couple of downsides like with every car, but believe me, it's really not worth mentioning, at least compared to other cars. These downsides are, at least in my opinion, fairly cheap and not complicated to solve, and are not so drastic as to change the opinion on the car. The main point of this video is to tell this: with buying a used Skoda, you'll get a very good, reliable, decently looking, practical and economical car that will serve you well for many miles or kilometers to come. It is like this with all models. One more thing, when buying a used Skoda, try to find one in good condition and with low mileage. Then you've hit the jackpot for sure. At the end, one more testimony to Skoda's quality. Seldom does any Skoda owner part with their companion easily and without some serious hesitation. So that's it for this time. We hope this video helps. Please like and subscribe. It's a huge help for what we're doing. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.